All right, everybody, welcome to Speed Gaming 3 for a Week 3 Swiss match between one-on-one players Shton and WARPATH. I am BTQ.gov. We'll be joined here in a moment by Magic Friends, and we are off to a hot start. We have two Triforces, and we start with the blue Boomerang. And we have the potential for 0 HP enemies. Ooh. All right, I am joined in the booth by Magic Friends. Magic Friends, we're already off and running. What the heck's going on?
Well, it looks like we have basic money, and we've got some shuffled enemies on the overworld. That's what's going on, and probably 0 HP.
Okay, so we have the makings of that's a vanilla small secret. We have the makings of a jet seed, maybe. But the fun of random percent is that so many things can be, so many flags can be turned on or off. That we could be looking at a full 2Q seed with extra bosses and just all sorts of shenanigans and items buried behind chain reactions, and so anything can happen. So stick around. This is going to be a fun race.
Well, WARPATH's already picked up their sword, so their sword looked like it was at vanilla, and I haven't seen whether or not he hasn't taken any damage, so we don't know if sword views are on yet.
But we do know that the drop groups are shuffled because that Tektite on Shton's screen dropped a bomb. So that is definitely one of the flags that can be on in this flag set that can throw some runners for a loop is the shuffled drop groups.
Now, we do have Karma Beams. WARPATH is firing on all lasers, so we are going to have our combat looks like it's going to be fairly easy.
Yeah, and that's good news for a fairly novice runner like me. That is very good news. Some runners prefer the more difficult seeds because they think that gives them a strategic advantage. I don't know what these runners' preferences are, but so far, I mean, it's looking like we don't have a whole lot of obstacles in our way, at least in terms of combat. And a good call out in chat that Monocle Rock is, Shton gets beamed by Lionel. Monocle Rock did not bomb, which means we do not have a full first quest overworld. We either have a mixed quest overworld or it's full second quest. Well, it's mixed, and we know that because Vanilla 1Q3 showed up as a cave like that instead of just a regular shop cave. So we have a mixed quest overworld.
And I believe because that location is brown and not green, it means we're going to have first quest money.
And that's more good news for the runners. Hey, we have normal shop prices, and Shton's going to pick up a 4-pack of bombs. Yeah, that's definitely good news for the runners. I had a race last night that I was running that was second quest money. We found the one large secret on our start screen, and it was 52. And it was just sadness from that point forward. Oh, a left mola for Shton in level 6.
Good, yuck.
So level 6 with that start screen all the way over there. Okay, I'm trying to figure out if we're looking at because this is one of the things you have to diagnose in this random percent tournament. Is what is your distribution of dungeons? Are we looking at shapes? Are we looking at first quest? Are we looking at second quest?
We're looking at shapes because this level 3 that WARPATH in does not go this far north.
Yeah, and it certainly, if it does, it certainly doesn't go that far in 2 columns under both of those R's in Corral.
And then Shton, in no way, yeah, we're looking at shapes first half, so let's go.
See, and I love shapes. Oh god, 0 HP enemy likes to drop bombs. Oh, it's so delicious. I don't mind shapes. I would much rather have shapes than 2Q7 and 2Q8. Because I'm used to playing shapes in just pickup races where you're running just like consternation flags. So I'm kind of used to shapes, but I don't know. What's your preference?
Well, the benefit to shapes is that you have the better you are at keeping your counts high, your key counts and your item and your bomb counts high, the better you're going to do at shapes. The drawback is that sometimes there's just a magical bomb hole and there's no indication as to which one is the correct one.
Yeah, and I can think of several seeds I've run in pickup races or just casually or seeds of the week where that's been the case, where you've just been like, why can't I finish this level 2? It's small, it should be easy, and there was no bomb hole. And of course the game loves to troll you in that case when you finally do find the bomb hole and then the map's in the next room.
There you go. Shton able to use their bombs to get that blue Lamola down, and doesn't find a drop in that room, so they're gonna unfortunately throw 3 bombs into the void and run away.
Yeah, and this is Shton is swordless, so he's gonna need a ladder too to progress any further because that's a heavy room. But yeah, Pole's voice, you're gonna need arrows or sword to take them down, even though they're 0 HP.
Yeah, this is where shapes can get kind of messy. Like Shton might be able to make progress in there, but they don't know. So therefore, it's easier for them to just say, "Okay, ignore this. I'm going to leave and come back later."
Yeah, well, Shton's got the pointy stick now, but not making a beeline back for 6. And frankly, I don't blame him. There's a lot of overworld left to explore.
Now, one thing is, I believe we have Dungeon 3, and I believe we're in a 7 or 8 situation. Our tracker JLo has already marked Triforce 3 for both runners. There's a second Triforce we have, which I believe we're either in it's either 7 or 8 setting. So
yeah, and we're not going to know the answer to that and until we get in those dungeons and see what we're up against. And I learned that lesson the hard way in my race last night. I blew 15 minutes in an 8 that I did not need to clear, and that kind of bit me in the butt. Shton picks up his art container here just below Death Armos. No extra candles in the Take Any's, nor was there an extra candle in the Wood Sword room, so our runners are going to have to find the cave where the 60 rupee potion or the 60 rupee blue candle is. Okay, so we haven't seen an Armos item yet. We've seen at least a couple of the Armos checks. We're going to see the rest of the... Yeah, that is either 7 or 8, and we just don't know what the answer is yet. We're going to see these Armos checks here. It seems like with this flag set that a lot of the time, the Armos item has been rolling to its vanilla grave location, but we'll see if that's the case here.
Well, it's going to start at a 50% chance of being at the vanilla location, and then even if that 50% turns off, there's still a 20% chance on top of that it just happens to roll back there.
Yeah. So, and I've got to do math on a Thursday night. So you add those up together.
Let's just call it 60% and not do math.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I was. Exactly where I was going to go. So 3 is down in the southwest. That's where that is. Okay. If we want math, we can always call also in.
Math is for blockers, so none of us are blocking. So
fair enough.
All right, so Shton going into this 3, they are now equipped with their swords, so runners are about equal right now. We have ladder required.
Oh man, if we suspected it was required for 6, we know it is now, because those are silvers on the coast, and those are 100% necessary to win. Oh,
and there's... Go ahead.
No, I think we're just going to say the same thing. 2Q enemies, because we just saw red bubbles.
Which means there's a good chance that our back half is second quest as well.
Yeah, I just... Second quest 7 and 8 just I've got a bad taste in my mouth about them right now. So, yeah. I mean, we were doing so well with 0 HP enemies and quick sword and shapes first half, and then, well, the game can't make it too easy for the runners.
Well, if everything's going to die in one hit, we might as well put the hardest version of everything into the seed.
That is true. So, yeah, we do want to present a challenge because these are 2 very good runners. They're 1-1 in the first 2 weeks of the Swiss pairing matchup. They're 1-1 for a reason. That's not by accident. So, you're going to see some really good play from these runners tonight. Shton's going to clear out this shoot room and find, there's a key. Be nice to have at this point.
This could be a level 1. This could be a vanilla 7, a first quest 7 on WARPATH side.
Oh, did he come in right there from the top of the L?
He came in from the top of that L there, and all 3 directions open. It's going to be hard for us to tell until he bombs a couple of things. That's not what he wanted to do.
No, that's not going to help. We have segmented 3, by the way. So this is the fun part of Shapes, is you get fun, wacky segments. I believe in one of the tournaments last year, we had some ridiculous 4 that had like 5 segments, and it was hilarious. It was so enjoyable. That's not the push block for Shton in 3, though. Oh, and in chat we're being asked, hey, there's a Triforce. This is not a Triforce that our runners need, but that room could be a push block room. We don't know if remove most open stairs as a flag is turned on or off, but in a double block room like that, I think that can fairly often be an indicator that we have a push block in that room. We know this is a push block room, and I think this is the transport.
Yeah, this is going to flip us down to the bottom half of this dungeon where Shton is going to be looking for... Shton's probably hoping not to find the raft here.
Yeah, we have seen a few seeds so far in the first couple weeks of this event where the items have rolled in their vanilla locations, which for convenience, for knowledge's sake, is nice for the runners, but yeah, that kind of takes some of the guesswork out of it. Oh, hello, Shield, we have a boomstick seed!
We have a boomstick seed, and now also, it could be the raft here, but it can't be vanilla because the silvers are on the coast.
Yeah, silvers are on the coast and books in 7, and I think there's only one configuration of the vanilla of when it's mixed. I'm looking at a chart, but this ain't it, because, like you said, silvers are on the coast, and in that configuration, red ring and silvers would be a 9. So, yeah.
Okay, that is Shapes 7. It sure looked like it wasn't, but pop it open and yuck.
What in God's name is that ink blot? Well, it's linear. We know it's very linear. That's a heart on the floor for Shton in 3, and he's seen most of... he's seen all the bottom half, and he's seen everything but one room in the top, so he may need to go back to that room where the Triforce was and try to push that block.
Level 7 looks like Arceus jumping over something. Looks like a giant, like a giant deer with the big antlers.
Yeah, or like a ram that's got the... No, I can totally see that.
Yeah, this is probably our item room. Now, fortunately, all of these can be sorted down. I don't know why Shton saved from there, though. They finally got 3 things dead and then saved. That's confusing, but...
Yeah, I'm wondering if he thinks the item is up in that room that he's key blocked out of. But I think that's if I'm him, I'm clearing that room and trying to push that block.
Oh, you know what he might have just done? He may have not been paying attention to his compass, and then when he was in the room, recognized, wait a minute, I don't need anything in here. I'm wasting my time. Let me get out of here.
Oh, okay. That would make some sense.
Well, shield coming in handy for Warpath, because a couple of those Lionel beams just got blocked. And we do know that our second Triforce is number 7 now. So Warpath also, once they found that map, was able to bail out a 7.
Yeah, which is good, because as a linear shaped 7 like that, yeah, you could sink a lot of time in if you didn't have the map trying to figure out where exactly you were. So that's handy for him. And now, those are hints, but one slight problem. All our cave dwellers are saying the same thing. So we need Book to understand Old Men, I believe. Yeah,
we don't have the right forms, so they just keep asking us for papers. But we do have... Shton should probably find the item right here, and it's the raft. So our most item today is rafted.
All right, we got a bundle of sticks, so that could be something. Hey, here's 4 at the waterfall. So one thing we do not have tripped as a flag is a forced overworld block, but that does not mean there cannot be a forced overworld block. There absolutely can. In fact, called one race the other day that had... I believe 4 overworld blocks, 3 by the recorder and 1 by the power bracelet. So that is definitely still in play.
Yeah, so we have a $200 translation book that also upgrades our boomsticks.
Yeah, okay, here's the map in 4. And we're segmented here, too!
Yeah, once things start getting segmented, I've noticed that with the way these seeds roll, because it kind of rolls... I have a hunch that it rolls both halves separately, so it'll roll 1 through 6 first, and then it'll figure out what 7 through 9 is. And when it does that, I've noticed that, like, especially when we have the, like, a second quest 7, I've noticed we've had a lot of segments because 7 and 8 kind of, like, envelop each other, and it just leaves a big clump.
Interesting. Yeah, I should know this, but, I mean, that involves math. And not interested. So, but there's something in the way that the randomizer will set shapes in that higher number dungeons have to have more rooms in them than lower ones most of the time. So that if you have something like this, like in 4, 5 and 6 are not going to be smaller than this.
All right, so that's a good sign from WARPATH for our runners. Finds our first heart container on the ground in level 4. We find more heart containers on the ground. It means we won't have to deal with heart shuffle.
Yeah, I think we found one on the floor in 3 as well, but we didn't find the second item, so we don't know. So we have an indication that this heart shuffle may be off, but we don't know. Here's a stair for WARPATH, and that's our transport up to that 3-room little L up at the top. As Shton's gonna buy arrows, I don't know how I feel about this.
Well, it can't. Here's the thing, with a first quest overworld, I like spending my money when I get it. That way, I don't end up getting robbed or mugged. And when you can always, like, your option is buy arrows now and then or get hard stuck because you needed arrows deep in a dungeon and then you lost 20 minutes.
That's a really good point. And we've seen 2 Gomas already in 2 different dungeons. So even though we don't have Bo, I mean, Bo's going to be here somewhere most likely in one of these dungeons. So that's a good point. I am also a big believer in, if you have the money, spend the money while you have the money, even if you're saving up for something. Because you can get mugged, you can get door repaired to death. That's not the push block for WARPATH and 4 either. So we're running out of options here as to whether our item is hiding behind that Chevy room.
There's also where Shton found those arrows was way up at Vanilla 5. So another concept is like, okay, I don't want to have to walk all the way back up here if I need arrows. I might as well just get them.
Yeah, that does make a difference. And we don't know... Well, no, it's not the rare shop, because we saw one other shop somewhere on the overworld that had the bombs and the arrows. But our runners may not know that fully. We have that knowledge because we see both feeds.
So we have both runners now in level 4. Shton's going to pick up their heart container, so they're up to 7 hearts already.
Yeah, that's really good, and we don't have times up for the runners, but we're about, I'd say, 18 minutes in or so.
Yeah, we're at about 19 minutes right now.
Just check you beat me to the race room. I just checked. We're just coming up in the race room, and we're on like a 15-second delay, I think. So we're coming up on the 20-minute mark here in a bit. WARPATH's going to check these bomb spots along the river and not get much of anything.
Fortunately for our runners, this level 4 does have red bubbles, but it's been nice and generous with our blue bubbles as well, so...
Yeah, that is always annoying when you're in a dungeon with like 5 rooms of 8 red bubbles apiece, and then there's one blue bubble buried somewhere deep, and you just have to pray that you remember that that's where they are. Hey, speaking of blue bubbles, hey guys, how you doing? So WARPATH's up to 218 rupees, which is good news for him in the sense that he can afford a boomstick if he wants to buy it, but he's also got to buy a candle at some point unless he stumbles upon red candle somewhere. So, choices to be made.
Well, if Shton can go left from this room, they can pick up the Triforce without having to... But I believe WARPATH did bomb out of this room, but the Triforce is just to the left of here.
Yeah, and so one thing for our runners to consider, if they can't bomb left out of that circle moat room, as that's our transport, I think. Yeah, it is. That makes me wonder if our Triforce room's a super room, and it's a right staircase.
Ah, that could be true. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Not being able to go left from there.
Yeah, and I know on Vanilla 4 does not have an open right side staircase, but we have. It looks like we've got rooms shuffled because we don't have Triforces in their Triforce rooms. All right, so WARPATH's in 6, which Shton has already seen a little bit of. And Shtun's going to get his key here in this segment and up A and head back to start, see if he can get over that Triforce room. So no candle yet, and ladder is increasingly becoming very important for the runners. It was already, as WARPATH takes a death in the manhandler room. It was already important because silvers are on the coast. But we're finding at least one dungeon that's ladder blocked, possibly 2. We're gonna get an indication right here. Yeah, you can't bomb that way, so we're ladder blocked out of 2 dungeons.
Yeah, feeling more and more like we're in one of those right order seeds where we have to find the correct path to each item to get to the next one.
Oh, the old chain reaction seeds. It's fun when you finally find the item that unlocks everything, but until then, it can feel like you're beating your head against a wall.
Yeah, and with both runners kind of throwing bombs everywhere, hoping it works, it can be a little confusing to check. Shton does have a candle now, so Shton's going to be able to check a lot of overworld slots that WARPATH doesn't, and since we know 6 and 4 don't have the item we're looking for, then finding more dungeons is going to be the most key priority for them right now.
Oh, absolutely. And Shton is the first of our runners to explore Death Mountain kind of beyond the grave area. So it is entirely possible that the dungeon that holds the key, no pun intended, to unlocking the rest of this seed is buried up here deep on West Death Mountain.
Yeah, so note the book. It's hard to pick the book up right now when we don't know where the wand is, and we need that candle before we can get the wand.
Yeah, absolutely. I made that mistake in a weekly race about 3 weeks ago. I bought book really early when I found it, thinking surely I will find the wands in like 3 or something. No, it was deep in 9, and I blew $200 for nothing.
Yeah, CD Improv got mad at me on my race this week for the exact same reason. I had enough money, I saw the book. I had enough money, I saw the book, and I didn't pick it up because we knew that item locations were vanilla, and I had the 8 Triforce to start, so I had no reason. I had the 8 and 6 Triforces to start, so I was just like, okay, there's no place that I'm going to end up getting the book, so getting the wand, so if I have to go get the wand, I'm in serious trouble.
Yeah, the only reason you'd go to 8 at that point would be to get the ending key, I would think.
Okay, 9 is over in the Lost Woods, just kind of hanging out here.
That's an interesting location for it, just over by Vanilla 2. Okay, yeah, if you needed confirmation we were in a mixed quest overworld, you have it now because 1Q8 didn't burn. Oh, but Shton gets beamed right in the side of the face.
There's the one thing about having the Gurias on the overworld is that you're so used to running around the overworld and just kind of moving. Those things turn and fire out of nowhere. You're like, hey, they're all facing left, and then 2 seconds later, there's 6 boomerangs surrounding you.
Oh yeah. Oh, I cannot tell you how many times I've had deep dives in dungeons or deep treks on the overworld, murdered just by a boomerang to the head. I still do want to visit Australia at one point, but if I don't, I'm going to blame these Korea boomerangs for that.
All right, first dungeon that the candle is hiding is level 5. It's on the left-hand side of the Lost Woods. The little extra one-off burn bush.
Yeah, exactly. And Spiky, in the room previous to this on Shton's side, reminds us that, hey, there's another item that might hide the secret to progressing in this seed, and that's the recorder. In a Mixed Quest overworld, that opens up more than just 1Q7 as a potential recorder spot.
Thanks for the raid coming in. Twitch still hasn't fixed the raid function, so we don't know who raided, but you should say something in chat, Raider. Thank you for showing up.
I think it's Jay Coper. Hey, Jay Coper. Jay Coper's been doing comms as well as running lately, so happy to have all you all here joining us here on Speed Gaming 3. You're about 25 minutes in to a 1-on-1 race between Shton and WARPATH. So far we started with 3 and 7, 0 HP enemies, found the wood sword pretty early, but ladder is kind of important right now, and we need to find it.
Alright, Shton gonna get the 4-pack of bombs on the upgrade, so that rolled to vanilla. Now they just gotta find another direction to go in this 5, though.
Yeah, and to your point earlier about shapes requiring you to manage your resources well, I like the bomb upgrade purchase here, even though Boomstick is still out there, for that exact reason. Because you may need to try to find a lot of bomb holes in this 5, and it's a really good use of your money, and you have first quest money. You might as well use it now and get some benefit out of it.
Plus, with enemies being at 0 HP, the boomerang is essentially just a wand.
Yeah, it's free-ranged offense, which is awesome. Against most enemies. Not these guys, but they go down to 1 hit too, so who cares?
Alright, Shton's making some progress towards the left, but they know the Triforce is north of where they are now. Now, we don't want to pay you.
Yeah, but he might if he feels like he needs to get to that room to the right. Yeah, he's going to do it. Or has he already been to that room to the right?
Yeah, he's been to the right. He's moving from right to left in this dungeon right now. Whereas WARPATH's up on Death Mountain trying to dig out some of the stuff that Shton found a little earlier.
All right, so if you've just joined us and you're wondering kind of who's ahead, oh, WARPATH's going to buy the book right now. That is interesting, before getting a candle.
So if he bombs north of here, he will actually... There's a bomb spot around here that'll let him get the candle as well. Because Shton bought the... Oh, no, wait, that was in a different section. My bad. Ignore me.
Oh, no, but, I mean, he's got 6... Oh, wow, this is working out really well for WARPATH. He has 67 rupees now. He's going right back and buying that candle, too. So we know it will allow him to understand Old Men, and that can be helpful in certain dungeons, particularly in 9 if you're trying to find the location of Ganon or Zelda. So even if Wand is not acquired until very late in the seed, he'll get some benefit out of this. But yeah, the gamble, I like the gamble. Oh my god, that's 8, and what the heck is that?
Yeah, it is ugly. Alright, we've got a super book. It's an atlas, it's a boomstick, and it's Understand Old Men. So that is a very powerful train. Level 5 is like the baby locomotive, and level 8 is like an Amtrak train.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good call. With seeing them side by side like that, I was gonna say 5 was like a chunky brontosaurus or something, but yeah, no, I think you're right on with the trains.
Oh, well, thank you to J-Lo for pointing out that it's a train.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Thanks, J-Lo. Thanks to J-Lo behind the scenes for doing our tracking this evening. All right, our video seems to be a little choppy here. I don't know if that's the case on the main feed too, but that could be a product of the fact that we have 3 races running at the same time right now on SpeedGaming 2, 3, and 4. So hopefully this will sort itself out here in just a minute.
WARPATH has the chance of getting 2 different items in this 8, but WARPATH's down to only 1 bomb. Shton and they have to go through those trap rooms, which are miserable.
Yeah, he did a good job of getting through there, only losing 1 heart, and now his reward is he gets to deal with this little room of bats and see if this is a push block room. At least, thankfully, this is not a segmented 8 on top of its grossness.
Alright, that's a ladder for Shton.
Oh, that is a massive find given what we know so far in this seed. And Shton is going to up a save immediately. He'll come back for that Triforce later. But he is headed, if I was a betting man, and I am, he's headed for the coast to get them silvers. Oh, and thanks JLo for he already has the Triforce in 5, so up a, peace out. Thank you very much. Assume heart shuffle is off, and he'll come back if he absolutely needs to. Well, I'm wrong twice, because he's right back at 5.
I'm not sure what the dive back into 5 is for. Oh, because they can now get across this. The Shton hasn't seen enough hearts that they're set that heart shuffle's not on, especially because we know that the coast is not a heart, so they're gonna dig the rest of this 5 and try to find the floor drop.
Okay, yeah, given where you are in the seat, yeah, I kind of get this. Yeah, it was ladder blocked twice. Oh, okay, well, that would explain that. Meanwhile, WARPATH's on his way out of 8. Just to key in some bombs here in these two rooms here at the top of level 5. Is that it? Okay, no, that's everything. So it's got to be in a room he didn't clear. The floor item.
WARPATH up on the east side of Death Mountain gets all their checks done up there, but not much she can do about it. She's gonna have to keep digging out this Death Mountain and seeing what they can find up here.
Yeah, 5 was up here, right?
5 is in the Lost Woods. Oh, of course. Shton died to that Gorilla earlier. So Shton didn't even see the ladder item, so that's why they're heading over to the coast. They are like, well, something's there. Right, they were on the whistle screen that's right before the coast, and then they got boomeranged in the side of the head.
That's right. We even talked about that. Yeah, that's exactly right. So we know Silver's on the coast. He doesn't, but he's about to get the good news here in about 45 seconds. All right, good news on Warpath's side. He was able to recoup his bombs from that orange Tektite, and he's bombing Western Death Mountain, which I don't think we've seen much of yet. Hey, there's some good news. Hey, look, silvers. Grab them. They're right there. There you go. All right. He can also check the second forgotten spot, which is this second raft spot, which is very easy to orphan, even when you have the raft.
Yeah, it's going to be a big check here because since we had the raft in the armor spot, it's kind of like there's nothing that tells you something's going to be on a raft location, but there's that thing that's like, well, this was the first progression item I found. It's kind of like the seeds trying to tell me something.
Exactly, and thanks for reminding us, chat, that on Warpath's side we saw the white sword item. It was just a heart. That's one less location for our bow, one less location for our whistle. But we've seen all the overworld stuff, so we're looking for dungeons at this point. One thing I don't think we've seen is Candle Row, and that appears to be where Shton's heading.
Yeah, both runners are actually pretty close to each other now. Warpath will probably head north from here, and Shton's going to be finishing up the top half of Candle Row and then moving towards the long half.
Okay, that spot on Shtun's side in Candle Row, when it's mixed, it's one of those that feels like with Monocle Rock. It feels like it should be 50% of the time that should burn, but just psychologically, it feels like 80% of the time it doesn't.
Yeah, I do. When I check that location there, and I know it's mixed quest, I burn that bush and I just stand at the edge of the screen waiting for it to do nothing. Yeah. I'm like, you're not going to open. You're just toying with me. Let me save 3 seconds.
Exactly. Yeah, no, and that's just from getting that beat into your head from running all sorts of practice seeds over the past few years. Same here.
Yeah, so Burn Row didn't have anything. So Shton's going to be the first one to get to the Dead Woods here. That's our best bet at finding one more location.
Yeah, because we've seen now a good chunk of Death Mountain. Well, yep, you're exactly right. Here's level 2. And right. Boy, that is a shaped location to start on level 2, isn't it?
And well, this is also floor drops, so we're going to have to clear out a lot of these rooms.
We are, and we're going to have to do a lot of wall bombing. So this bomb purchase on Shtun's side is going to come in handy immediately. Well, there's a floor heart. Further indication that we may be looking at Heart Shuffle being off.
Ooh, there's the bow.
Well, we've got most of the puzzle unlocked at this point on Shtun's side. He's got ladder to get silvers, and he's got bow to go with it. So technically he's in Triforce and Go mode if he can find all the rest of the dungeons.
And so Warpath, the benefit, Warpath has less bombs, but the benefit to that is that Warpath is going to know what the layout of each of these dungeons is. The drawback is it looks like they're going to kind of clear, like full clear a little bit more because they see what extra rooms are around. But they're not going to end up wasting any bombs on a direction that they couldn't have gone.
Yeah, it'll be a time sink, but I mean, it's not going to be a mission critical time sink. It's going to be annoying. I mean, Shtun had a really jet too. Get Heart Container, get Bow, get Triforce, and boom, 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 and you're done. Yeah, and we should probably figure out what the shape in 2 looks like, because Warpath's going to be done in here in about a minute. That looks like a horse jumping without a head.
It looks like all the dungeons are just like squeezed into each other, like stacked like Lego blocks.
Yeah, like they're badly cropped in like Photoshop or something.
Yeah. Now, fortunately for Warpath, this dungeon, the path to the bow is going to be forced. It is in the second column of that second R, where they basically have to go into that room.
Shton's in 3 and used his key to go up into this room because he's got 9 of them. And yeah, he's realizing that he's got to push this block. Well, he's going to get Y-forced into the Triforce with a blue bubble. I think he has to realize that this room's the push block in 3.
Alright, Warpath will have their bow as soon as they can defeat the deadly Aquamentus, and now they can go straight for the Triforce.
Excellent. Yeah, because he's seen the heart container. And yeah, I'm forgetting that Shton doesn't need it. He may have realized that, oh wait, I don't need an item. I'm in go mode. Even if this is red ring, I kind of don't need it.
Well, the only thing we could, quote, need right now is the recorder, right?
Yeah, because we haven't seen 1. We've even seen 9. We've seen all the other dungeons except 1.
Yeah, and so we'd either need recorder for an overworld block or like some crazy Dig Dogger only pass through.
I suppose we could need power bracelet, but I mean we haven't seen any roads yet, and we're about 40 minutes in, so I think it's fairly. If I was betting again, and my bets have been terrible tonight, but if I was betting, I would not surprise me at all to see we have vanilla any roads. Okay, so Shton's headed back to the waterfall. Yeah, he's going back to 4.
Alright, Triforce for Warpath. They're only behind by that Triforce in level 5, but we know that he's got to get over there and pick up that Triforce at some point.
Yeah, I mean, when we saw this was 0 HP enemies and we saw it was first quest money, we were thinking this might be Jet-ish, but not so much. But yeah, the Shton probably, I would say Shton has a slight lead. Oh well, that's not going to help. Takes a plant beam to the face, but he's got a lead right now. But it's by no means insurmountable. This is still anybody's race.
Yeah, and with the Atlas, there's a lot of spots where Warpath could just get ahead, whether that be coming into this 3 and happening upon the wand. Although I'm pretty sure this 3's item is quite blocked, but there's a couple different things that could happen here.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That is because we know it's a super book, super reading material from your local Hyrulean library. That can definitely speed up dungeon clearance, and absolutely get Warpath right back in this and make up some time that way. All right, we get to see what the Manhandla blocked part of level 4 shows. There's a Triforce room. That could also be a push block room, but maybe not. Could also be this like room.
Alright, so Warpath gonna grab the Triforce in this 3. It's in that room like we were talking about that's kind of a pain in the butt to kill all the enemies in. Shton's finding out that there is no room left to push except for the Triforce room, so I guess it is a super room.
Yeah, that seems to be with this flag set in this event. That seems to happen a little more than you might anticipate to have super rooms, just mathematically that you might think. So yeah, let's see what this is. Oh boy, well that solves some potential overworld block problems there, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, that's the last thing that could slow Shton down in terms of uncovering stuff. But now, Warpath got through that room, and look what he finds.
Oh, that will also aid him in his ability to blitz dungeons from here on out. So if Warpath has a path, no pun intended, to catch up, I think that's it. The combination of Book and Red Ring should give him the ability to, if he routes correctly in the dungeons, make some hay there and get right back in this.
Well, we've seen both runners have a little bit of trouble with some deaths already in this race, but when we're talking about all the enemies are 0 HP and you have the Red Ring, really the only, like, once you pick up one Triforce, you're just like, oh, I have 74 hits of damage I can take, and I'm just blitz moding X and Y and Z, and let's go.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you really have to worry about when it's 0 HP like this is the Ganon fight, or maybe taking an orange Wizrow beam in the back. But if you have Red Ring, I mean, that's doing 1 heart to damage instead of 4. The Ganon fight in particular is the one you worry about, because a Hyrule driver on Green Tunic can kind of ruin your day.
We do know that the bosses are not rolled to 0 HP. It was taking Shton a couple of hits to kill the pieces of Manhandla. So bosses could still get annoying, especially if we run into, like, a Patra. Like, a Patra blocked room could save... Warpath could save a lot of time in there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Or even a triple split Dig Dogger that just kind of gets out of hand quickly. Yeah, absolutely. Or a 4-headed Gleeok, I suppose. But, yeah, no, Warpath definitely has doors open.
Alright, so Warpath picks up their heart container. That means that they've got one piece of this item in 5. Going north here will get them to the Triforce room, but they gotta stick around in here and find this ladder.
Yeah, and we just saw on Shtun's side a heart on the floor in 8. I'm comfortable reasonably assuming that heart shuffles off at this point.
Yeah, we haven't even seen the staircase heart yet, so even if... at this point, it's going to be pretty straightforward.
Yeah, oh, and Warpath's going to find the Mugger room, and yeah, he's got the money to take care of it. Hey, we're getting raided again. Welcome, Ferran Burgundy and your raid party. Welcome in. I think Ferran was running his own race tonight, so I hope that went well. We are about 50 minutes in to our 1-on-1 race between Shton and Warpath. And we're 0 HP. We found some stuff. It's full shapes, so lots of shenanigans could still happen.
Yeah, we know that sulfurs are on the coast. Ladder is somewhere in this 5, and Warpath needs to find it as soon as they can. And we also know that the Triforces in 4 and 6 are... There's stuff in 4 and 6 that is blocked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, Furon was saying that they were running their async seed this week because him and Rywak were unable to run at the same time, so they were doing their async. Yeah, if you're in chat and you're ever thinking about getting into the game, we do a lot of different methods of playing. Tournaments are just one of them, but we have the seed of the week, where you can play a seed and everybody submits their time whenever they're ready during the week. We have a lot of battle royales, which are like kind of leagues, and they are run asynchronous as well, so you can play those and compete against other people and get some practice in. And of course, we have our weekly events on Sundays.
Yeah, and if you're at all curious about playing this game or getting into it, please do, because the Z1R community, yeah, there's a link to the Discord in the chat. Please do, because it's a really welcoming community. Everyone's really nice, and it's just fun. Look, we're having fun here. Look, the runners are having fun. They're having to beat their head against a wall a little bit, but they're having fun. By the way, one of the Shton found one of the dungeon items in 8. It's the power bracelet. So goodbye overworld blocks.
He's kind of just taking a lot of damage in this 8. There seems to be a lot of like bouncing things and turrets and stuff that throws fireballs. So it's got to be wary, especially when you have such a windy path like this, that you don't end up just not paying attention to your life total, and then you get to the point where you have 1 or 2 hearts and you die real deep.
Yeah, I mean, to your point earlier about the fact that Warpath's advantage at this point is Book gives him maps, and he's got Red Ring to withstand damage. If Shtun's gonna have an unexpected time sink in clearing these dungeons with the item set that he has so far, that's it.
Yeah, and the only things that are going to help him are really that Red Ring out of 3, which I doubt he ends up going back for, because all of our, like, if we find a white sword, like, what does it help us with 3 enemies? Like,
Yeah, exactly. It helps you with Ganon, and that's about it in terms of time save. So yeah, Warpath sinking a good amount of time in 5, but he's going to be very happy he does, because he's going to find his ladder here in a little bit.
Alright, and Shton just found the compass, which is going to save him any more time just digging through here for no reason. He'll be able to move. Looks like, oh gosh, be careful, please.
Ooh, down to 1 heart there with a bunny bop. Gotta be careful in this room, more bunnies.
Alright, there we go.
Ooh. That was touch and go there for a minute. I was about to say, he tried to bomb down in that room with the bunnies, and I'm like, I don't know why you're doing that. You have 15 keys. Just open the key door and go that way and try to bomb the next room.
Partially because he doesn't want to have to keep going across those rooms. I definitely took a death to a squirrely bunny Pole's voice yesterday, so they like doing random things like, you know, screen wrapping when they're on the overworld and then punching you in the face while you're trying to screen wrap the other way.
Oh yeah, on the overworld especially. I saw one where we were I was either watching it or calling it in the Swiss round this week, where a competitor was up in the north door in the dungeon trying to deal with some Wizrubs. I think it was Sis Crusher, now that I think about it. And the Wizrub just went all the way up into the HUD, into an area I didn't even know they could get to, and took him out. So, yeah, it's rando gonna rando sometimes.
7-8, it's way in the back of this 5, and it looks like Warpath has decided that it's not worth it anymore.
Oh, and he's gonna need to get back there at some point, because that is hard required. I understand why, given kind of what he knows, that he feels like he has to do that, because I'm sure he's thinking that I've already sunk a lot of time in 5. If this just turns out to be a boomerang, I'm gonna be way behind. I get it, but in this case, it didn't really work that well. Shun took the whistle, and it takes you to beaten dungeons, it looks like.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out what the heck that was, but that's the location for 8 is up there on East Death Mountain. Gotcha.
Yeah, and that the screen that's one screen to the left of Spectacle Rock, he fluted there to see if that opened with the whistle, and it didn't, and it picked him up. He said, all right, well, let's just see where it goes. And oh, good, it takes me one screen. Thanks.
Well, there's our... Oh, we found this 9 before.
Yeah, I think Shton saw it, and just quickly pieced out of it. Shapes 9, so if you're looking for potential for future shenanigans, Shapes 9 is one way to get it. Well, there's our blue ring, and Shtun's at 182. He could think about, because he hasn't seen Wand. For all he knows, Wand is deep in 9. He could consider that, but at this point, you know, he's good enough with combat that he may not. But to your point earlier, yeah, he seems to be taking a lot of damage, some of it unnecessarily, in the name of speed, and that could come back to bite him.
Yeah, when you start getting to this 1 hour mark, especially with combat this easy, you start fearing like, well, if my opponent did what I did but better, and
absolutely.
It doesn't matter how good you ran this race. You could have like done everything in the right mode, and your brain's still like, yeah, but my opponent could have done the same thing.
Yeah, that actually happened to me in week 1, because my opponent was Kathy, and we had a 0 HP seed. And I was all proud of myself that it was like 50 minutes, and I had just gotten my 8th Triforce, and then I see the dot done. And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, that's right, I'm running against Kathy. Oh, yeah.
He's very good, and a lot of the runners in this are either very, very good or have really improved their game during this event by just being on top of everything.
Yeah, it's been a really fun event so far, and a deep event, but we've also had some new entrants in it that have made it really interesting.
Alright, Shton is now checking their recorder spots here. I think they have also come to the same determination that we have, that the chance of the power bracelets mattering is exceptionally low, as they kind of just skip this power bracelet and check the whistle spot first. This is probably just going to prove our theory.
Yeah, probably. There it is. I mean, you could. We have seen seeds where the power bracelet spots have been shuffled, and 2 of them just happen to be the vanilla ones. But I mean, that's mathematically extremely rare.
Yeah, Warpath's back in this 4, and we know that there's just no method for him to get to where he needs to go in here.
Yeah, he's about to get the bad news right there and find out that he can't go around in that circle moat room just northeast of that.
Yeah, I think he's seen this before, but he's kind of running out of ideas a little bit. Yeah, sometimes when you're thinking, the easiest thing to do is just to do something that you're like 95% sure you did right, but you're just like, okay, I mean, I want to double check this anyways to get it out of the back of my head, so let me just do this while I think.
Yeah, no, definitely been there. Shton up an 8, but before that, he saw a second shop that has our boomstick in it. So our boomstick shop up on Death Mountain, that's not our rare shop. And I guess it couldn't be because we saw the blue ring shop finally about 5 minutes ago.
So it looks like Shton's kind of whittled this down. We're really at, I think we didn't hit the grave yet, and this location right here.
Yeah, you're right. We are running out of potential spots for 1 to be. It has to be somewhere, and it's not here. Yeah, Shton's gonna get hearts get to 11. Have we seen mags either, by the way?
I don't remember seeing it. I mean, it's entirely possible that when our screen was like, getting a little bit clogged, that it was there, but there's another evil boomerang to the back of Shton's head on that exact same screen.
Yeah, that's kind of twice now, twice on 1 screen alone. But it's going to actually work out for him because it's going to take him back to start. He was going to have to loop back around or flute to get to clearing additional overworld spots. So maybe this only costs him a little bit of time?
Oh, level 2 is also a spot we haven't checked yet. We do have a recorder link up on 2.
That's right, yeah, because this is Mixed Quest Overworld. I think Warpath peeked at this just in case it was 1Q2, but it was not. Now, what do we have here? Well, just money.
All of this is like just little amounts of time where Warpath isn't losing time. They're just not gaining any time while they dig out this 8. But if the second item in 8 is a boomstick, that's probably the best. The best thing for Warpath right now is that the second item in this 8 is a boomstick. And that we didn't accidentally see a heart container that I missed, like in a staircase.
Yeah. Oh, I just asked where Mags was. It's in 2Q4, and it's not available at 11 hearts. It's probably available at 12, though. Alright, so Warpath's in 8, and yeah, I think we're concerned that Warpath's going to spend an inordinate amount of time in 8 looking for 2, potentially 3 items, and going to get some helpful information, potentially, but not very much. Well, these whistle spots are largely coming up empty.
Yeah, we've got these 2 grave spots, and we got Vanilla 7 right now. And if it's not any of those, then it's probably something that Shton just kind of orphaned. Like, maybe a location... never mind.
Oh, here it is. Okay. So, flute required. So now we have 2 items that are required that Warpath's going to need to get. Ladder in 5 and flute in 4. Alright, quick heart on the floor in 1. There's our... Okay. Triforce is right there. I'd imagine Shtun's going to grab and go. Well, I said that, and then 8 Blue Wizzies showed up.
Shton's got to be very careful here. You don't want to take a death. Oh, cool. They grabbed that heart and took a beam, like, almost the same time.
Wow, I thought he was going to reset the room there, but half a heart, he's able to pull it out.
All right, Shton. Now we got 12 hearts. Let's get this 6 and get into 9. See what the Great Equalizer has for us today.
Yeah, I'm struggling. We saw 6 so long ago on Shtun's side. I think it was the first dungeon he found. I'm struggling to remember where exactly 6 was.
I think it's by vanilla start.
Ah, that would make sense. Okay. Ah, here it is. Okay. And we were ladder blocked out of here. So
yeah.
This now 6 can be a big boy. So Warpath is not out of this, but it's Triforce and go for Shton at this point.
Oh, right. We have to fight these things again.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, actually,
no.
we don't. We kind of don't, because this room doesn't drop anything, but Shton may not know that.
I think what Shton's thinking is they need to go to the right of that room, but when they go in that room, the land mobilists really only have one path to move, and it's just ambush. It's just to ambush Link. Because there's so many blocks on the floor, there's no space for the land mobilists to do the little wiggle in a circle pattern. It's just go straight at your head.
Yeah, they do love to do that kind of U-shaped pattern in a room like that just gets. Oh boy!
This is another ugly room.
Woo. The good news for Warpath is that red ring is doing work for him. He's not had to take a death anytime soon.
Oh, this Gliok's got a lot of heads. Shton's actually not going to live through this if they keep doing it this way.
He's going to have to use both shots of his potion. Ugh.
Oh, well, I guess it was worth it. I'll take 2 potions for a Triforce.
I mean, yeah, you're right. That is a fair trade. Shton is done in 6. He is ready to go to level 9. I mean, I assume he's going to stop and buy a potion first.
Well, Shton has 13 keys and 11 bombs, so moving around the dungeon shouldn't be a problem for him. Really, we're looking at just find the roar and then find the door. Ah, there we go. And some combat.
Okay, that was a quick check for him. That didn't take him long at all. He was able to flute right to where I think 4 was. As Warpath's going to get his power bracelet out of 8, which we know is not required. And yeah, Shtun's going to do some more fluting around the overworld. Give us the Hyrule World Tour.
There you go. There's the wise decision. Use the money that you've got. Get your health up. Again, the one thing that would really keep Warpath in this race would be a deep if Shton had died a bunch of times to that Gliok, or if Shton ends up dying deep in this 9, and with mags and a full potion and 12 hearts, that's going to be really impractical.
Yeah, Warpath's kind of running out of time here. I mean, the 9 can absolutely do 9 things, especially a Shapes 9. But there's going to be 6 sets of stairs here, and having mags is going to be one way to make sure. Those little Patrites go down to 1 mag shot. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, but you got the Expando Patronos. There we go.
Yeah, the annoying one. Okay, so that room pushes. The good news in a Shapes 9 is you don't have walk-through walls like you do in 2Q9. So the fact that he has 12 bombs, he's gonna put those to good use here. Hi, Zelda.
There's our door. I was just about to say, with these enemy sets, I would be clearing rooms that have a shutter door in it just to get the information, but now we can just go.
Yeah, I mean, if you're clearing rooms for anything, you're clearing for map at this point. You don't need compass. Or to pop open shutter doors, I suppose.
Yeah, at this point, I'm probably just like doing exactly what Shton's doing right there. Like, is this a staircase? No. Is this a Ganon? No. All right, next room. Let's go.
Speaking of potential staircases, this is one, and it's our expandy boy Patra. I almost called him Patronus. You got Harry Potter in my head.
Yeah, I call the ones that get stuck like that Expando Patronuses. So.
Yeah, I like that actually.
There's a nice easy one for him. We also it seems that like all these Patras make it difficult for us to hear whether or not we are standing next to Ganon.
Yeah, I don't think. Oh, okay. Oh, he's gonna spend the heart here. Well, he needs the arrows, I suppose.
Yeah, going down to 5 arrows, I can see where that could be a bit sketchy. Plus, the heart's not going to matter nearly as much as if he somehow is to run out of bombs or to have to go get another potion.
Yeah, the potion in particular. Yeah, if you use both shots of your potion in the Ganon fight and you die, yeah, I would think unless you're really confident at doing a damageless Ganon, I would go out real quick and get a potion. It's going to cost you what, 30 seconds?
Well, we'll find out.
Ganon, here he is. He's going to arm that potion immediately. We don't have 0 HP Ganon, so this is going to take 4 shots of the magical sword to get the boy down. Oh, well, hell. It's 0 HP Ganon. Well, what? Okay.
Yeah, Ganon's on a different tree than all of the bosses.
And that can be 50-50 here. So, all right. Well, we have Ganon. He has been baconated. And now it's just a quick sprint over to Zelda's room, and we're going to have this race wrapped up here in just a second. All right, and this shutter door should open, and that should wrap it up. So get your GGs in chat. Zelda's in Zelda's room for Shton with a racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 18 seconds. Well, Magic Friends, we said this might be a jet seed, and kind of, sort of, it definitely threw some curveballs at us.
Yeah, the combat was easy relatively, but when you look at all the different items we needed to explore the overworld, it definitely made our runners work for it. And we do have a forfeit from WARPATH. Understandable. There's a lot of this seed left to do, and at that point, it's probably better just to save your mental energy. So, but we have both of our runners in the booth with us now. Good game, runners. Thank you for putting on a show for us.
GG, thank you.
GG's. It was a lot of fun this time around.
So, starting out, you both have a pretty easy enemy set. How was your overworld exploration, Shton?
Well, I haven't looked at how many deaths I had, but it was more than I should have probably with 0 HP enemies. So, overworld exploration was fine. I was getting so frustrated. I found a bunch of levels, and all of them were ladder blocked. So once I found the ladder, things started falling into place and went faster, but it just felt like everywhere I turned, I had a ladder block.
Yeah, there was a lot of ladder blocks in this seed, and WARPATH, you were still digging for that ladder. Did you have an idea of where you think it might be?
No. I think I just took a wrong turn, and it's domino effect from there.
Yeah, our ladder's in the back corner of 5, past the Triforce, right, Shton?
Yes, I believe that is correct, and it was a floor drop, I think.
Okay, yeah, that's where I probably blew it then. So, and it happens.
Yeah, it's completely understandable. Like, you're going through, and there was if it was a floor drop, there was a lot of hearts too. So there's a lot of hearts that were also floor drops, so it could be very deceiving.
Yep.
Uh,
But you go the wrong way one time, and it's like I said, it's domino effect through, and it just went the wrong way. That's all. Just didn't work in my favor today.
Yeah, you had all the combat advantages, Warpath, because you had the super book, which was like Boomstick and Atlas and Speak to Old Men, and you found that rendering out of 3, so you were traversing the rooms of the dungeons a lot faster than Shton was. Shton was having to be pretty careful because there was some really nasty combat when you got to the back half of the seed.
Well,
Yeah,
I felt good about making the mags play right before going into 9, thinking, well, if Ganon has HP, this will be worth it. And then then he was 0 HP as well, so maybe not as ended up not being as fruitful as I'd hoped.
Speaking of which, how did it feel fighting that Gliok in 6, Shton?
I'm glad I was able to finish it off. Use both potions, and I'm really glad it had the Triforce.
Yeah, when we saw that. When I saw that, I'm like, oh, this is exactly where Stad could end up getting roadblocked. Is if you've got to kill that Gliok because the shutter doors are blocking that room, and it's 4-headed Gliok with like 6 or 7 hits on each head in a Chevy room. It was like, why? Who designed this?
Yeah, luckily, I mean, perma beams was helpful, but I mean, being on wood sword was tough.
Yeah,
I'm
you
glad
never
I
get.
didn't like that 4-headed one and 8. That's for sure.
Yeah, there were a couple of really big Gleoks in this one.
Yeah, the bosses were doing you guys no favors. But yeah, Warpath, you were in this. You made that combination of choosing to buy the book, and then you bought it before you bought the candle, but then you went, I think, one screen down and got the money in a cave to go be able to buy the candle. You double dipped that, and we thought that had the potential to give you a significant combat advantage, and it did for a good chunk of it. Stun passed on the boomstick at the time, despite having the money, because he needed a candle as well, and it took you guys both a while to find a candle shop because there weren't many of them.
No, that was our rare shop this time around. That's for sure.
Yeah, I had the money. I think twice, and by the second time, I just I just figured with the 0 HP enemies, I wasn't even thinking about Atlas. I was thinking about Boomstick, and I hadn't found Wand, and just decided. I think it would have taken me down to like 5 rupees or something, and I just decided against it.
Yeah, we still have no idea where the wand is. I mean, it could be in 1, it could be in 9, it could be the other item in 8 for all we know.
Well, I was real close to finding it because I had most of 8 dug out.
Yeah, you did a lot of fighting in that 8. But like I said, you were in that 8, and you were probably in the 8 for about the same amount of time that Stan took in that 8, just because you were able to clear the rooms a little bit faster.
Well, I guess when we're done, I'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, you guys put on a really entertaining show for us. I mean, it was you get the news right away. Hey, 0 HP enemies, and instant sword. Not far from vanilla start. So, hot start. But yeah, this seed with full shapes and some items buried in some dungeons that were tough to get to. Yeah, this was not a jet seed by any means, but you both put on a really good effort here and gave us a fun match to watch.
Well, GG's to Shton.
Yeah, GG's, and thank y'all for doing this. I mean, I know it's a really packed night, and it was all hands on deck, but I always enjoy getting a restream, and thank y'all for taking your time to do that for us.
You bet, and thanks to JLo as well for doing the real MVP, doing the tracking behind the scenes, keeping us honest. But yeah, no, always happy to have you guys on stream and do races with you. So thanks again, and good luck with the draw next week.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
And
Thanks a lot.
good luck going forward, Warpath.
Same to you.
All right. GG's. Thanks.
Well, Magic
Thanks.
Friends, any final thoughts while we're wrapping stuff up here?
Just to remind our viewers that there's more racing going on, including a race over on SpeedGaming Prime right now between Fury SK and Druis. They just started about 20 minutes ago, so if you're looking for more Zelda 1 racing content, jump on over to SpeedGaming and check that race out.
That's a great point. I will be doing that, actually, here in a few minutes, because that sounds like a really entertaining race. Well, thanks for doing commentary with me tonight, Magic Friends. This was fun.
Yeah, of course. And thanks for everybody watching. Make sure you give our tracker, our commentators, and our runners a follow. And we will see you later this week.